Hey guys, Joe Simpson here. I just wanted to cover today something called the Thunderbay Thunderbolt 2 Raid 5 disk drive enclosure. I guess that's what I'll call it. It's from OWC. It holds 4 drives. It's really easy to put together. It took me about 15 minutes last night. There was one catch that got me, but other than that, there was nothing major that came up. It's a real easy thing to set up. Take a look at the video and I'll walk you through some of the info. I do a lot of video editing, a lot of photo editing, and I store a lot of data. One thing that I find to be very critical is that data to be able to move back and forth to my computer and onto the hard drives quickly. But I also would like to have some sense of security with my drive, that if something were to fail, it wasn't all lost immediately. So I decided to go with the OWC Thunderbay 4 Raid 5 edition. It is a Thunderbolt 2 case that comes empty with no hard drives, and I bought my own hard disks and put it together. Basically, this device comes to your house, it comes empty, you order 4 hard disks, you put it in, and then you set it up. So you can see on the rear panel, you're going to have a plug and 2 Thunderbolt ports. They also make this in a USB 3.1 version, which is going to be, in my case, about as fast as this. On the front side, you pull off the face, and these trays mount your disks, and you slide those back into place. And once you get everything into place and you plug this device in and turn it on, you go over to the software RAID. All right, I want to stop right here real quick. This is the only thing that got me yesterday. I got this whole package, got all the paperwork out. I did everything the way you're supposed to. But when I went to install software RAID, I went to the website like they told me to and downloaded the version that this paper that came in the box told me to go get, and it didn't work. It would not accept my serial number. So I thought it was just, hey, I need to call in and tell them, hey, the serial number's not working. What happens is when they send you this box, it's pre-set up to be teamed up with a software RAID version, because there's varying levels and varying degrees that they sell. In my particular case, they had set me up with RAID version XT, not just the general software RAID. So I had to get on the phone and hash that out. It took me about an extra 15 minutes. But once we got that sorted and we knew which version to download, everything worked perfect. Now, the way RAID works, RAID can set up multiple hard drives and collectively join them as one, what they call like a share. So you can see here, I click on the Thunderbay and it points to 4 disks. Those are the 4 individual disks that are within that unit. I put these inside of the RAID, and then you go up here to volume and you hit new volume, and I named my volume Thunderbay, and it said what drives do you want in the volume, and you pick them, and it says, okay, how do you want them configured? And I picked what's called Raid 5. So the way Raid 5 works, I'll do it real fast because I had a really long-winded, boring version up here earlier, so I'm just going to do this for you. Let's pretend these 3 batteries are hard disks. I know they're not hard disks, they're batteries, but let's just pretend they're hard disks. Okay, so as you're writing and reading information from these disks, let's say the data goes all the way across each and every disk. So let's say it writes a 1 here, a 2 there, and a 3 there. Well, if you lose this disk in the middle, right, this one says, well, I know there's a 1 here and I know there's a 3 here, so there must be a 2 in the middle. So when you replace that disk with a new hard drive, these 2 disks worth of data can repair the disk that was missing. Same thing over here. You're missing this one. If it wrote 1, 2, 3, then it knows, oh, there's a 1 here, a 2 there, then it must be a 3 there. So when you put in that drive that had failed, it knows how to repair it. So all these drives have data, mathematically speaking, that can go back and forth and repair any one of the missing drives. That's kind of Raid 5. I'm sure somebody who's in the tech world would chew me apart on my explanation, but it's the best I can do. To give you an idea of speeds, I'm averaging about 400 write and 449 read. Now, that may not sound that incredible, but what we're talking about here is I'm running these Seagate 4 terabyte Iron Wolf drives, and they're only rated at 54 to 5900 on average. Now they say that they can deliver up to 7200 RPM, but that depends on which version, what model you have. So I think mine's going to run on average between 5 and 6000 RPM. It's not going to be that fast. So even with these slower network, longer lasting drives, I'm still getting read and write speeds of above 400, which is outstanding. So to summarize, the Thunderbay Thunderbolt 2 RAID configuration is going to be a good thing. It's going to give you several benefits. One, it's going to increase your read and write speeds because it's writing across multiple drives. It's going to increase your security from a disk failure. So if one of the disks fail, you can replace it and it will repair itself. 3, it'll give you mass amounts of data storage and also the future for growth. And if you get the interface that works the best for you, whether it be 3.1 USB, Thunderbolt 2, or Thunderbolt 3, you're going to maximize your transfers and increase your productivity when it comes to video editing. Give it a shot, give it a look. I know it's not cheap, but if you're at that cusp of making that move on something that's a little bit more expensive, this could be an option before you spend tons of money. It's actually not that bad of a deal.